Hey, I just heard the news a couple of days ago about Fresh and Fit getting their channel demonetized and more or less thrown off of YouTube and really just about all the platforms. Now, I could be petty Betty and celebrate because I made a video previously about Fresh and Fit, and in it, I promised I would never make anything again. But given this YouTube platform situation, I felt I had to. Now, let me make this clear from the jump. Do I feel sorry for these guys? No. I mean, when you make material like that, because if anybody remembers my old channel, I'm not going to pretend I'm some patron saint. Anybody remembers my old channel, the Mr. Griff F channel, you know I used to make some outrageous stuff. I used to make some outrageous, and looking back on it, some of it I'm not sorry about, but a lot of it I would cringe at now. I mean, I was in a different place mentally in my life. I make no excuses. I did it full well, knowing what I was putting up. I was in a more pro-black space at the time. But quite frankly, hateful and, if I had to be honest, racist, bigoted, mean-spirited at times. Whereas now I'm more, what you see now with the Irvin Griffin channel is closer to who I really was before that period of my life. It's closer to it. It's a more mature. Yeah, there's some things that I still raise up about, such as my Janet Jackson, Chanel Jones videos, where I was proud to see two women in general, but two black women specifically, actually lifting each other up. You know, I was genuinely happy about it. And it was actually a positive thing, for example. But overall, although it did create probably my most famous, well, if you can call, or infamous saying, and that was, "Ain't this some boo?" And you know the other half of that, which is sort of a nod to Don Cornelius. But even the stuff that Fresh and Fit used to do, even I would not have gone that far, even back years ago. And of course, my channel got taken down. I won't say by YouTube, actually by a hacker. I still have my own opinions about it, because the way, even when I clearly explained to YouTube, Google, what was going on, they wouldn't do anything. And pretty much I lost money, because this day, when I tried to put this channel up for it, they said, "Oh, your information's too similar to that Mr. Griff F channel." And even though I clearly explained what was going on, what had happened, I clearly explained that. But I guess in one sense, I can sympathize with Fresh and Fit, because if you're a content creator, and especially if you make some, whether it's a side hustle or your main hustle, if you're making money off of that content, you don't know the pain that is to lose that. I understand. Look, I was in a different position in that I had a regular job. So I wasn't 100% reliant on YouTube. I think these two guys are. But again, I can't feel sorry for them, because look at all the crap you did. You put out copyright strikes against people that were only using your stuff under fair use rules. You get on here, you make this material that obviously is not, it goes against YouTube. And you know I sometimes get warnings myself for like music and stuff, but there's a difference between music and what they were putting out. Making racist videos against not only blacks, but against Jews, and then you're going, saying sexist stuff against women, and you're doing shows with guys like Andrew Tate, who, oh God, yeah, look him up sometime. But at the end of the day, you brought this on yourselves. I mean, I saw that video where Myron got up and acted like he was all tearful and stuff. But, dude, you reap what you sow. When people tried to warn you, even other black creators tried to warn you what was going to happen if you kept down this road. And let me tell you, and I have my issues with them too in some of their views, like O'Shea Duke Jackson, Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar, and a few others. But at the same time, these are guys that have been around long. Some of them been around longer than you. They tried to tell you, and you just thought you were immune. I mean, you might say that young buck syndrome, but hey, this is the way I was brought up. And I'm going to wrap this video up. This is the way I was brought up. Your age wasn't an excuse. You wasn't excused from, excuse my language, you wasn't excused from whooping. And your age was no excuse for consequences. That's why when some people try to tell me, oh, well, they young and this and that, I'm the wrong person to tell that. Because I'm like, so? I was young too. My mom still busted my behind when I needed it. So, nah. And right now, Fresh and Fit is getting their behinds busted by YouTube. And from what I understand, other platforms are probably following suit. And that's another quick thing. I know I said I was going to wrap this up. I don't want to sound like a preacher or nothing. But that's another thing. Cats need to realize what you do off of YouTube can still affect you if it's a big enough issue. It's no different than your job. What you do off hours, I know people say what you do off hours is your business, but generally it is. But if it's a big enough problem that's going to cause them problems, they can get you out of there. Even if it was off the clock. Even if it wasn't on, even if you weren't conducting business. Like the company I work for. Anything I do off the clock can get me fired. Can get me fired. If it's a big enough issue and it's going to embarrass their brand, they can get me out of there. They can get anybody there out of there. I mean, that's just how it is, man. Especially nowadays. Now, back 20, 30 years ago, maybe not. Because especially if you're making them money, or if you was buddy with them, they would try to stick it on the rug. It ain't that way anymore. It ain't that way. So if anything, look at Fresh and Fit and take those type of lessons from what's happening to them. I don't feel sorry for them, but I'm not gonna sit here and do the hula dance on them either, because you know that can happen to anybody. That can happen to me. That can happen to any other YouTube creator. You know, so definitely watch yourselves. You got to remember, you're in their house. At the end of the day, you are in their house. And you follow their rules. You don't follow their rules, they have the right to get you out of there. Anyway, that's all I got to say on this. I'm out.